Collier Motors Paint and Body presents the Coach Matt Griffith Show on our Coach's Corner this morning. And Coach, we appreciate you being here. And big win over Talladega last Friday night. The first 4 times that you had the football, you put points on the board. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we did. We were pleased. We were a little disappointed the first drive having to come away from a field goal. But you know, with all things said, we'll take the 4 scores right there. You know, I thought Talladega had a very talented team. You know, they always do. They're always big. They're always fast. You know, and they were well coached for us. They probably didn't have the numbers to hang in there with us and stuff. But, you know, you had to have a hats off, even though it was 24-7 at halftime. But they were playing pretty well before we put that game away.
Well, the first 4 times Sylacauga had the football, including the opening series, you had it first and goal right inside the 10, and you settled for the field goal. But after that, up and down the field she goes.
Right. Well, you know, we're playing well. You know, we like I said, we knew we had an older offense this year, so we are scoring a lot of points. We still got to throw the ball better. We know that, and there's a lot of things that go into that. You know, Jackson's a very smart quarterback. You know, he's got a pretty good arm. He makes good decisions. But you have to have receivers in the right place. You have to have receivers getting open the right way. And we've had some hiccups in some different places right there with us. You know, we're holding our starting receiver out this week with Bailey with a slight knee. So, you know, when you're young at certain positions, and that's probably the only position offensively we are young, it makes a difference.
I thought, looking at the game, that your running attack, it was a punishing running attack against Talladega, and just run after run, 6-7 yards.
Right.
That wears on a defense.
It does, and it eats clock. I don't think anybody noticed that we had 1 possession in the first quarter. Talladega had 1 possession in the first quarter, and the first quarter was over. You know, both were trying to run the football, and it had a fast clock because of it. But look, we've got a 5'11", 5'10", 195, 200-pound back that is a very, very good one. We're going to give him the ball, and Jackson does a good job reading the option, so he gets 6 to 8 carries a game. We've got Deshaun Looney, who's very quick. He's going to get his 6 carries a game. So, you know, we're going to set the pass up with the run, not the opposite.
Well, you're a talented back, well over 200 yards rushing, and he's consistent with it. It's game in, game out. He's there.
He is, and I tell you what, he's just one of those rare backs that gets stronger as the game goes on, and as the game starts to come under control, he wants the ball in his hands to take control of the game. So, and look, he's got 3 to 4 older linemen blocking for him that's been around a long time. So it's a strength that we're glad to have.
Sylacauga, a big win over Talladega Friday night. We had the scoreboard up and going. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I hope, you know, here's the thing. We're still got some hiccups there. The guy that's supposed to program the scoreboard has had some family issues, and my heart goes out to him right now. But what we couldn't do is show down and distance and quarter and run the advertisements at the same time. But it will allow you to do that and flip back and forth. So hopefully by the next home game we can do that. So we thought it was really important to continue to run the advertisements. Our businesses in town who gladly do those things for us and provide that and buy those advertisements that helps our football program, they've gone 3 home games without having advertisements. So we thought it was very important to run them the entire time. And then hopefully by the next home game, look, that scoreboard's nice. It's a nice addition. It's going to add to the stadium. And slowly but surely, everything's coming together.
Sylacauga, a big region win over Talladega. On the road to Valley, even though Valley is having a down year to some extent, Sylacauga had a tough time with them.
Yeah, I mean, when we played them in the playoffs, probably was that
cold
3?
It was.
It was cold.
Goodness.
I think that was 3 years ago. Hunter Johns and Ian Floyd in that group, and the Sylacauga was 0-10 in the history of the schools, and we beat them for the first time in school history down at Valley, and so you know, the schools had a hard time with them. The biggest thing that we worry about, we have a lot of distractions this week at the school. Our kids have focused up really well. They've done well for the last 2 weeks of focusing and practicing hard. We've got a long road trip ahead of us. we're looking forward to that. We think that's a good thing. We think we can load up on a bus and get out of here and go down there and put everything behind us and win a football game.
How do you keep the kids like-minded? As you said, there's been several issues that you've had to deal with this week, and they're young guys. They hear it and they see it. And how do you keep them focused on the task at hand?
Well, first and foremost, you have to give kids the benefit of the doubt, and you got to talk to them. You know, we've talked to our kids every day, just a little bit, and we've let them talk to us about it.
So you got to have a listening ear.
You do, and you have to have an understanding ear. And two, you keep kids busy. You keep kids busy. You keep them on routine. You keep them boom, boom, boom. Don't give kids a lot of idle time. And if you don't give them a lot of idle time and they stay busy and they stay focused and they realize we've got a goal here. We've got a couple of goals. We're together. Hard work and success bring kids together. And it makes things a lot easier when you can do those things. You know, programs that lose have problems, and they're having problems because they're losing. And there's no fix it there for it. But when you're winning, you can keep kids focused. Things have a way of working themselves out. And we've had a good week of practice.
Sylacauga and Valley tomorrow night. That's over in East Alabama. And though Valley is having a challenging year, Sylacauga can't afford any slip-ups.
No, we can't. We can't in the region. You know, we're sitting really good right now. A win Friday night would give us probably, there would be very hard to keep us out of the playoffs. But then you're jockeying for position. You know, we see it a little different. It's not just about making the playoffs. If we can win out in the region, we're hosting a playoff game at home. We've got a shot at the region.
That's huge.
It is, especially with the stadium being brand new, and it would just cap a really, really good season off for these kids that's had an unbelievable career at Sylacauga, you know, since their freshman year. So it's important to them. I think it's important. That's a goal. There's no doubt.
You've been here 12 years. You ever seen a year like this one, though?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of good things happening, and a lot of challenging things you're dealing with,
we've gone through some challenges that's probably not statewide the way this has been, but we've had some challenges. I can remember going around the same time period when we had a young man lose his mother in front of Blue Bear.
I remember that.
You know, we've had, you know, the death. We've had a couple of deaths like that before that shocked our football team. Losing John Mitchell was tough. So, you know, we've been through it before, and look, we'll come through it again. Sylacauga is a great town. You know, 99.999% of our kids by yesterday are basically tired of the portrayal that's being played in the media toward their school. They're very upset because they know that they're a good school, that they love each other, black and white. We get along, our sports get along, our kids get along. We got a hiccup right now, and it'll get better as long as adults will remain adults and be adults and realize that we have to mentor these kids on both sides. We're going to be okay.
And very quickly, keys to success with Valley tomorrow night on the road.
Well, one can't turn the ball over. I know they're all cliches. The biggest thing we have to do is we have to do what we did with Talladega. We have to come out on all cylinders and hit them fast and quick, and don't let them get started. They've got a good enough offensive skill kids to scare us, and they do a lot of different things defensively to confuse you. So we've got to get out of the gate and come and play hard fast. And when teams aren't winning very well, they have a tendency not to believe they can win once you start putting points on the board.
I know that you have dealt with this, you've seen this, you've addressed it, but at times Sylacauga get a big lead, and like many other teams, there'll be a little lull there, a little letdown.
Well, a lot of that's probably on us right now. I have probably never in my career got up and probably subbed so fast like we're doing this year, trying to get these younger kids playing time, knowing that I lose 23 seniors and I lose everything offensively, and I've got to get those kids in games or we're going to be in some serious hurt next year without game experience. So when you see me get up, we're scoring 35, I'm subbing just as fast as I can to get those kids playing times. And I'm hoping people will see it by next year and say, man, I'm glad he did that, because we've got to do that. We lose a lot of key players. We've got some young ones that got to get playing time.
Well, hopefully we can see more of that tomorrow night at Valley. Coach, thanks for being with us this morning.
All right, thanks for having me.
Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director, our guest this morning on the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Collier Motors, Paint and Body. We've got more Daybreak just ahead. Our star student of the month is right after this.